Shalom. Shalom and welcome. This is From Four Corners, a series of messages reflective of Isaiah 11th chapter, 12th verse. It is a series of messages to those who seek to do the will of the Almighty Creator, our Almighty Father Yahuah, and accept that it is Yahusha that is our Messiah, or as some may say, Mashyach. These messages go out to you, my brothers and sisters. If you are tuning in for the first time, my name is Symmanayah, and today is June 26, 2014. This segment of From Four Corners is entitled Battling Fears. Battling Fears. It is a subject that many would prefer not to talk about. It is a subject that many strong men desire not to discuss or admit that they deal with on a day-to-day basis. It is a subject that is necessary, for we are in spiritual warfare, and in being engaged in such battles, we will face battling fears. My brothers and sisters, I want to begin this segment by reading the formidable definition of fear. It is an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain or a threat. It can also be defined as a distressing emotion aroused by impending danger, evil, pain, etc., whether the threat is real or imagined, the feeling or condition of being afraid. Many of us face fears of different types, whether we use the words fear or have a phobia, which is another term for describing fears. There are those among us who will boast of not being afraid of anything. Many who are lying in an attempt to portray a sense of courage. Many have not been tested as we will be in the coming days. There are those among us who realize that we battle fears often. In various situations, people will make every attempt to not discuss the things that bring fear. Dismissals and denials are two of the most widely used conditions to avoid talking about or addressing the matter of fears, to avoid extreme times. I am compelled to believe it is with the thought that we are facing complete extinction that has many people avoiding the discussion altogether. There are those among us who claim in or are sincere about seeking to do the will of the Most High Father, but avoid what's necessary to fulfill the intended purpose that have been assigned to us. End times are here. Soon and very soon the thought of forced movement will come. It will sink in that people will have to move at some given point in time. Soon and very soon as forced migrations begin, the questions will come such as where are we going? When? With whom? How will we get there? What resources will be needed and more? Yes, scriptures inform us not to be afraid and not to worry. But keep in mind, we are also told and informed to obey. We are also told to be mindful of the signs of the times, my brothers and sisters. There will be those among us who will begin to have visions on what is unfolding for the purposes of enlarging the need to seek the Spirit of Yahusha with urgency. As times such as these, end time prophecies begin to become clearer, and we begin to realize we have entered into the most challenging times of our lives, I assure you, my brothers and sisters, battling fears will become an obvious struggle. Before I continue with the matter of battling fears, allow me to present the following scriptures. Proverbs 1:7 reads, "The fear of Yahuah is the beginning of knowledge. Fools despise wisdom and discipline." Proverbs 3:7 says, "Do not be wise in your own eyes. Fear Yahuah and turn away from evil." Proverbs 9:10 reads, the fear of Yahuah is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the set apart one is understanding. Proverbs 14:26 reads, in the fear of Yahuah is strong trust, and his children have a place of refuge. Matthew 10:28 says, and do not fear those who kill the body but are unable to kill the being, but rather fear him who is able to destroy both being and body in hell, or Gehenna, depending on what translation you're using. John 14:26 says, peace I leave with you, my peace I give to you. I do not give it to you as the world gives. Do not let your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. Now consider these words, my brothers and sisters. If you were trying to push a car with your bare hands and it did not budge, and you had at your disposal a tow truck, would you not eventually, if not up front, choose to use the bigger resource to move the car? Just as it takes something bigger or something sturdier or something stronger to bring about movement with things that might require such resources, so will it be when it comes to correcting the stiff-necked, the stubborn, and the disobedience. So will it be in bringing us into obedience. The more stubborn, the more stiff-necked, the more rebellious we are, if we are indeed the children of the Most High, the heavier, the greater the discipline. I am compelled to believe one can discover comfort in knowing and understanding, even though sometimes it may be difficult and challenging. We can come to understand that we can find comfort in knowing. My brothers and sisters, we can find comfort throughout the scriptures provided by the Most High Father Yahuah. We can discover scriptures where we are instructed not to be afraid. Who has considered what follows if we truly begin to fear the Most High? Wisdom, knowledge, understanding, life immeasurably. Notice how Proverbs mention how the fear of Yahuah is the beginning of knowledge, or the fear of Yahuah is the beginning of wisdom. Who has given thought to this meaning? Who has witnessed the life in these words? Who have considered if we begin to realize the importance of obedience, knowledge and wisdom will indeed come. It will come by us focusing on the Most High and seeking earnestly to respond to his living instructions and orders. Any other types of fears can be dangerous and all too often fuel distractions and sometimes vain imaginations. My brothers and sisters, I want you to consider praying for the strength to discern and prepare fully for understanding and knowing and being able to endure what is about to unfold. Allow me to read some more scriptures. Matthew 16:25 reads, for whoever wishes to save his life shall lose it, and whoever loses his life for my sake shall find it. Mark 8:35 says, for whoever desires to save his life shall lose it, but whoever loses his life for the sake of me and the good news, he shall save it. Luke 9:24 says, for whoever wishes to save his life shall lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake shall save it. My brothers and sisters, end time will prove that we will be put to the test of identifying what is most important, worshiping and obeying and pursuing righteousness and obeying the Most High, or trying to save these earthen vessels that we possess, or as some say, save our own skin. Let me continue to read. 1 Corinthians 15:50-55 says, and this I say, brothers, that flesh and blood is unable to inherit the reign of Elohim, neither does corruption inherit incorruption. See, I speak a secret to you. We shall not all sleep, but we shall be changed. We shall all be changed. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible has to put on incorruption, and this mortal to put on immortality. And when the corruptible has put on incorruption, and this mortal has put on immortality, then shall come to be the word that has been written, death is swallowed up in overcoming. O death, where is your sting? O grave, where is your overcoming? Soon, my brothers and sisters, these words will mean much, much more than they have to us today. We will come to realize the value, the life in these words. My brothers and sisters, if we have not already taken the time to realize that the makeup of our existence consists of a spirit in an earthen vessel, we will soon come to know that with all sincerity, without any doubt. We will come to realize the responsibility we have in managing these earthen vessels as we know as our bodies. It will become all too real when we witness the following passages light up within our understanding. That is, Genesis 2:7, and Yahuwah Elohim formed the man out of the dust from the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living being. Deuteronomy 8:3 says, and he humbled you and let you suffer hunger and fed you with manna which you did not know, nor did your fathers know, to make you know that man does not live by bread alone, but every word that comes from the mouth of Yahuwah. I submit to you, my brothers and sisters, the Almighty Yahuwah is spirit everywhere at all times. At his words, he breathes life by his spirit. He breathes life into us. By his mercies, by his favor, we receive continued breath and a heartbeat. We will come to realize what was breathed into our earthen vessels. We will realize it was the Almighty Father creating that spirit that belongs to us, in which we in turn have surrendered to him, to worship and obey him, to recognize him. We who will consider and do consider ourselves among the children of obedience. We will also discover the importance of recognizing and accepting Yahusha as Messiah, as Mashyach, and that no one can come to the Almighty Father except by Yahusha. In addition to what I've stated, we will also come to know the words Ruach HaKodesh have been sensationalized and used more widely than the Spirit of Yahusha, which I believe is a big mistake. I am not saying do not use the word, but I am saying the precedence and the priority should be lifting up Yahusha, the Spirit of Yahusha, versus sensationalizing the word Ruach HaKodesh. For we are to call on the name. Calling on Ruach HaKodesh will not save you. We are to call on the name of Yahusha. We are instructed to lift up Yahusha, and that it is he who will draw all men to himself and present us to the Almighty Father. Again, I am not saying don't use the words Ruach HaKodesh, which simply means set apart spirit. I am strongly suggesting that we consider using the word Spirit of Yahusha more and most widely as compared to Ruach HaKodesh. Pray and observe, my brothers and sisters, for as end-time traditions become intense, you will see many calling on the name, the importance of his name, our Messiah's name. We will see each and every one of us tested. We will witness those who boast not being afraid, or who dismiss being in a position of battling fears, prove to do the opposite as intense times come. In other words, their fears will surface. They will prove to be battling fears just as many of us will. It will be hard not to. Words can be as tingling symbols, and they can prove to be void of strength when put to the test. I am compelled to believe we will be battling fears. However, to you who seek to do the will of the Almighty Father and come to discern, understand, and respond to the living voice of the Spirit of Yahusha, we will rise up as the Spirit of Yahusha moves within us. As he rises within us, we will rise up, strengthened with the ability to overcome all fears. If we examine the scriptures and discover the life in them, then we will come to know anything that is expected of us. The Most High has equipped us with the ability to fulfill his orders and carry out his commands. Truly, when fresh water, drinking water, becomes scarce and food is hard to find, people will find themselves battling fears. Individuals who have food will face battling fears, as those without make every attempt, and in some instances successfully take from those who have. In addition to fresh water and food shortages or drought and famine, there will be a rise in pestilence and disease. This will also contribute to battling fears, for some diseases will prove to be fatal, like the Ebola virus that is spreading widely in Western Africa, and it is believed to be spreading as people are traveling from those areas. Stay tuned on that event, those conditions. Remember, my brothers and sisters, end times predict that there will be a rise in pestilence and disease. In addition to fresh water, food, famine, drought, pestilence, and disease, we will be battling fears as to who we will be able to trust. Concerned with the fears of moving into the uncertain path that lies ahead. We will battle fears as we move into unknown lands and territories, wondering how we will survive. But we will come to know that in the midst of our weakest moments, we will see the Spirit of Yahusha rise up. We will see his chosen leaders and sent messengers. We will be encouraged. We will experience him working in us, through us, one towards another. In many ways, my brothers and sisters, we will witness the Most High fulfill all that is promised. I am compelled to believe, as we move deep into the great tribulation ahead, that the intensity will grow and grow, but before reaching peak levels, the 144,000 and multitude will be refined, gathered, and reach a safe, appointed place. Pray and watch. This type of gathering, known as our final exodus, it takes time and a coordinated effort that will be directed by the Spirit of Yahusha. The Spirit of Yahusha will and is working in us one towards another. He is working through his chosen leaders and through his sent messengers. One of the challenges we face while battling fears is unbelief. Already many have dismissed what is currently unfolding regarding end-time prophecies, but this too will change. My brothers and sisters, it is time. If you truly believe in what you say, then it would be wise to identify that there is much work to be done. If you truly seek to do the will of the Almighty Father Yahuah, then it would be wise to trust that he sent his set-apart Spirit in Yahusha's name to teach and remind us of all that he has and will say to us. Be encouraged, my brothers and sisters. Remember, the flesh wars against our spirit. This includes being in a position where we find ourselves battling with fears. I pray each and every one of us seek to earnestly do the will of the Most High Father, and that we are able to endure until the very end. I pray, my brothers and sisters, that we come to identify the presence of the Spirit of Yahusha and respond with precision to his orders, his commands, however he chooses to deliver them to us. Until next time, my brothers and sisters, continue to manage each breath and heartbeat with responsibility and accountability, walking in wisdom towards those that are without, redeeming the time. Until next time, stay tuned as this series from Four Corners continues. Shalom, shalom, shalom.